What's good, y'all? It's your boy BioSpider 3.0, keeping the action going with an announcement video. So, we got some pretty exciting news yesterday, y'all, on Friday. I saw this. I was at work, man. I was on break. I was out getting lunch on my break. I just happened to open Instagram and I saw some dope news posted. And to be honest with y'all, I kind of thought this wasn't a real thing at first. I low key thought that this was just like a fan made thing or something. And then I started seeing multiple people that I follow on Instagram who are like either reviewers or some kind of like toy collectors. They were all posting about it. So I was like, oh, this has got to be real. And then they had like slideshow post of this figure in like all these different poses and stuff, and like official Hasbro boxes that it was in. So I was like, okay, yeah, this is real. This is the real deal. So what we're looking at here today is the Marvel Legends Maximum Series Spider-Man figure. Sorry, or at least we were. Now we're looking at it again. This is crazy, man. So there is a lot of stuff to talk about with this figure. So basically, like I said, I was on Instagram. I saw like Just Jay Hernandez, who has a YouTube channel. He also has an Instagram that I follow. He posted about it. Tasm Collector on Instagram, he posted about it, and a few other people I saw. I saw people like posted on their stories. But basically, this is a brand new Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure that we are getting. The pre-orders, I don't know exactly when it's supposed to come out, but I know that the pre-orders go up in February, and I believe I saw somewhere that the official date was February 13th. I forgot where I saw that at. I don't know if it was on Instagram or online, but if I can find that again, I'll try to link wherever I saw that in the description. But basically, sometime in February. So if I were you guys, I would just keep your eyes out. But I know that the pre-orders for sure go up in February of this year, so next month. And like I said, it might be February 13th. So, all that being said, yeah, keep your eye out for this one, man, because this may end up being like the best Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure that we get maybe ever from Hasbro. I mean, for sure, it's the best that we've ever gotten in a long time. I mean, this guy is just packed with like everything that we probably just about everything we've ever wanted in a Spider-Man figure, man. It's insane. So, first of all, you can see like from the design right here, this is kind of like a 90s style, very McFarlane Spider-Man figure. And this one, there's no mistaking, like this is a McFarlane inspired, figure. Why do I say that? Well, first up, you'll see there's a lot of things that really give it away. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here. You can see him inside the packaging here. This is a shot of him in the box, right? And then thank God that they give us a window for this box. I just thought about that right now. They really could have just, decided to make the packaging for this like, one of the windowless ones, and that really would have really sucked for us, as adult collectors, because of course, we want to see what's in the box, right? We want to know if we're getting a good figure, one that's got some pretty good paint on it. So thank God that they're bringing the windows back to their boxes for this Maximum series. And yeah, so anyway, zooming in, you can see that spider logo on his chest. That is like clear night and day. That is the McFarlane Spider-Man style logo. Only Todd McFarlane drew his chest spider symbol like that. And I know the shot isn't the best, like with the lighting, it's a little bit blurry, like you can't see the details super crisp and whatnot, but you can make it out. You'll see like basically McFarlane always drew the legs kind of like almost like in a like X like shape pattern, I guess. Like so the legs they would kind of start off as like thinner lines, and then as you get to like the tip of the leg, it was like more filled in, like the ink, he like really inked like the edge of the leg, so they were like thicker. And that was always something that stood out about his logo, at least to me. And like he has like a very ovular shaped spider like body. Like it's like a very thin kind of like ovular shaped spider body, and then you have the legs that also have that kind of like round shape to them. So that is clear, clear as day. That is Todd McFarlane Spider-Man design. And then again, if you look at the lenses, that's another dead giveaway. You can see the lenses are nice and big, wide, and all of that, but they're also very angular. You can see if you know anything about Todd McFarlane's artwork, you know that he drew Spider-Man's lenses just like this. So they kind of like jut out at an angle, and then they kind of like swoop up or whatever. But they they have like a very like angular shape to them. And then at the top, you'll see in more photos as we go through this, but you'll see like at the top corner of the each lens, he has like a little kind of like a swoop, like a little check kind of thing, like a little spike or whatever that sticks off the lens. That is again very Todd McFarlane style. Not only that, I don't know how well you guys can see it on camera. It's not super clear, but he has the most webbing we've ever seen painted onto a Spider-Man figure. And Todd McFarlane, his artwork specifically, was known for having like the very kind of like close knit webbing, throughout the like the red parts of the suit. I think he has like honestly more lines in his Spider-Man than any other artist that I've seen personally. Like he likes to draw a lot of web lines, in the torso and down the arms and in the boots and whatnot. Like he has a lot of web lines. Most artists, will like spread the webs out a bit more, but he has like a very tight web pattern going throughout the costume. So that is another giveaway. Now, last, maybe most obvious giveaway that this is like a McFarlane style figure is the colors of the costume. Notice the colors of this, man. You see how it's like pretty dark? The red and the blue are both like a lot darker, especially the blue. Like the blue, this is like one of the darkest blues we've ever gotten on a comic, Spider-Man figure. And so that should be another pretty dead giveaway. If you look at Todd McFarlane's artwork, like any comic, like obviously like there's the famous one that says Torment on the front, where like Spidey is like crouched down like on the webs. He's got like all those webs going around him and a bunch of like spiders like crawling on the webs and like crawling around him. That is like a clear shot where you can see that the colors, the type of colors that Todd liked to use. He whoever inked at least his drawings would give like Spider-Man like a darker red and like a darker blue. He always looked like a little more gritty and like a darker Spider-Man. So this is definitely kind of like a reference to that. So yeah, man, I am super stoked because this honestly may end up, and I never thought I would say this, man. Never thought I would see the day that these words actually came out of my mouth. But this could very well be the best Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure we ever get, and that means even better than the McFarlane Spider-Man from Toy Biz. To me, that is, y'all know me how I feel about the McFarlane Spider-Man from Toy Biz. Like that is like the ultimate grail for comic Spider-Mans, at least in my opinion. In 1/12 scale, like a comic, classic Spider-Man, that is like my all-time favorite. But this guy, hey man, they really like Hasbro really turned up the juice for this one, man. I can't even begin to tell you how just impressed and stoked I am for this figure. Like this is what I've been asking for. This is what I've been wanting from Marvel Legends figures for such a long time, man. And I know the thing is like I know Hasbro can deliver on it. It's not that they're not capable of delivering, giving us amazing figures like this. It's the fact that they are and they choose not to, and then they want to charge like high prices, for very like basic or half-ass figures, like reusing body molds and just changing up the paint, maybe throwing in like a couple alternate hands, giving us barely any like effects pieces or anything like that. And then they want to charge like more, or like prices that are like ridiculous compared to like the competition. You got that's why like a lot of collectors nowadays are turning to import figures, because at least imports will give us like multiple effects and whatnot. And obviously we're paying more for them, right? But at least it's crazy, but at the end of the day we feel like we are getting more of our money's worth with the import figures compared to like these regular $25 Hasbro figures, because they're just so half-assed, and they don't have to be. Like they really could do so much more with the type of figures that they give us, but they choose not to, and that's what pisses me off. And you know, it pisses off a lot of collectors. But now that we are, you know, ramping it up with this Maximum series, man, I am super excited because Hasbro, it's about damn time. That's all I can say. So I'm gonna show you guys a bunch of shots that they released of this figure. So obviously this is how he looks in the box. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see the whole box. Let's zoom out just a bit here. So yeah, this is gonna be like the front of the box, right? So you got Marvel Legends, Maximum series in big letters right there, Maximum series Spider-Man. Got the Hasbro logo right there, of course. And look at all the stuff he comes with in the box. I'll show you another shot where the, you know, him and all the other accessories are like outside of the box so you can see it clearer. But just look at what he comes with, man. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of alternate hands, right? Obviously he comes with 2 fists on him in the box, but he's got 5 extra pairs of hands to switch out. And notice what 2 of those hands are. Bro, we get some freaking web shooter hands with that are like ungloved. We never get ungloved hands like to switch out for our Spider-Man figures. That is, to me, this might be like the most exciting accessory with throughout the whole pack. I know that's like probably a small thing. People probably don't even care about the web shooter hands because, you know, you always have a lot of, you know, people or Spider-Man fans saying like, you know, they never really cared for the fact that he like invented his own web shooters. Like they always felt that the web should be like a natural power of his. Y'all know me, like I've talked about it in other videos, but I really like the fact that he you know, made his web shooters. I think that that's like so, it's a small detail, but to me it's very essential to like his character. It's like, you know, you can't have Spider-Man without the Peter Parker, man, and Peter Parker is a genius. Like that's his whole thing. He's a super smart kid. He's resourceful, very innovative. So like it makes sense to me that he would make, you know, design and construct something that would help him in his battles, right? And you know, being like the smart guy that he is, and now that he's been endued with like, you know, spider DNA, basically, like he's got spider knowledge in his DNA now. Like it makes sense that he would make his own web shooters, you know? Like I always thought that like webs coming out of him always seemed a little bit silly. Like that just seemed like one of those things that just, I mean, obviously all his powers are like, you know, kind of out there, right? But like, you know, super strength, that's not unheard of. That doesn't seem like a, you know, unnatural thing. And then, you know, the wall crawling abilities, like that seems like it would make sense to me. Like you could have something in your body that would like make you like more adhesive, like the same way like a spider is. But I just couldn't see like knowing like how the mechanics of like spiders use webs, and like they literally have to like, they have like a liquid soup basically in their abdomens, right? They shoot that out, and then as it comes out, it like rapidly solidifies into silk. So that happening in the human body just didn't really, it just didn't seem like, you know, practical to me. So like the fact that he made his web shooters and actually like constructed the webbing himself, like, you know, tested it out, got all scientific with it, found like a chemical formula to make that type of webbing, like that to me makes a lot more sense than webs actually like shooting out of his body, you know what I mean? But that's just me. That's my opinion. But yeah, so I'm really stoked that we get, you know, these alternate hands of web shooters, like ungloved hands, and we got the web shooters with like the palm, you know, button, like the palm presser on it right there. And you can see like one of the hands, well, you'll see it better in a minute, but one of the hands is actually like basically like getting ready, like already pressing the button, and then another hand is like kind of like midway curling in. It's not quite touching the button yet. So that's some nice variance right there. But yeah, man, let's look at some other shots so you guys can see even more of what we're talking about here. Boom, let's look at this one right off the bat. Check out this. Look at that crouching pose, man. That's crazy. Look how well he's able to crouch, and that is such a beautiful shot. Like this one is a lot more clear, so now you can like really see the details of the you know, his costume. You can see how much web lines they put throughout the costume, man. Pretty crazy. Like really just insane how much web lines they actually painted into this figure, and you can kind of see the spider symbol on his chest a little better in this shot too, at least the top portion of it. And you can see the lenses clear. You can see that the lenses appear to be like raised. They're not just painted onto the mask. They're actually like sculpted and raised, which looks really, really nice. Really gives them a nice look, like the lenses kind of pop. And then again, you have like that angular shape, and you can kind of see that like little tip that I was talking about earlier, like the little point off of the top of the lens. That is like very McFarlane style, man. If you're familiar with Todd's, you know, drawings of Spider-Man, then you know like that's like a Todd kind of signature style of drawing the lenses. So that is super, super dope. And just look how deep he's able to get into like a crouch, and it looks natural too. That's the crazy part. You know, they didn't have to cut up the articulation too much. It's not very janky or anything. Yeah, man, it just looks awesome. So I heard that this is like, apparently this figure is like all new tooling. So there shouldn't be like really any reuse, at least from what I've heard. I think this is like an entirely new body sculpt. I don't think they like reused any parts. They gave him like a really good butterfly joint this time around. So he should be able to, you know, hit some really good, you know, poses like with the arms forward and back, you know, like crossbody, stuff like that. And, you know, reaching back, he should be able to hit a lot of like really, really good contortionist gymnastic McFarlane style poses, which is dope, man, because we like never see that. But yeah, you can see he's able to hit like a really good crunch here, or like a crouch stance. And then this is whoops, what did I do? Okay, kind of messed up. But anyways, this is another shot where he's like swinging, so he comes with some web effects and all that. So he's got like two McFarlane style. Let me show you guys the shot where he's got like all of his accessories out of the box. So yeah, this is another good shot right here. I'll move this over a little bit so you guys can see. Zoom in a bit. So this is everything he comes with in the box, right? He's got two nice long web strands like that, very McFarlane spaghetti style webs. So you've got like, you know, the webbing wrapping around and knotting throughout the main line, which is awesome. We get a stand. We actually, can you guys like picture that? We actually get a stand for like a Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure. This is really feeling like an import figure, like with how much they're actually including in here. But we do get a stand. We get a web effect that's basically like a giant, almost like a web missile. So at least that's what I would call it. It's like one of those like cocoon web shot, you know, blast or whatever, like effects. It's like a really big one, and you can actually port that onto the stand. We get the kind of funnel shaped web, like he's like about to like trap something. So like the web is expanding at the end in like a funnel shape. So we get one of those. We get a web shield, which is crazy because that is like a that's like a Marvel versus Capcom kind of thing, you know, like reference right there. So we actually get a pretty nicely detailed web shield for him to use. We get a Peter Parker alternate head. We'll talk about that in a minute. We get another masked head, which has like a slightly different expression on it. I think like one of his eyes is like a little more squinted than the other. And then again, we get all those different like 5 pairs of alternate hands, 2 of which have web effects like beginning to shoot out of his wrist. So they're like pretty tiny web effects, but they are like actually like sculpted onto the hands to look like he's like just beginning to shoot a web. So I think that's a pretty cool option. Very, very cool stuff there. And then obviously you have Spider-Man, you know, up and down. Try to zoom in a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. But yeah, and this is like a little bit of a blurry shot, not the most clear shot, but you get the idea. That's basically what the body is gonna look like. But yeah, man, just really, really dope stuff. And then, you know, adjacent to it, we have this shot right here, which is from one of the videos where it was like some of the guys from the you know, the Hasbro team or whatever were posing him around and like holding him. So this is one of the guys. He's holding him. He's got him in the kind of like crouch pose that we saw earlier. And then yeah, I forgot one of the effects pieces that I forgot to mention. He also comes with a Spider Sense effect piece, which is really dope. That is like another accessory that I'm super excited for. So yeah, you probably can't really tell on the in this shot on the camera, but this is actually like red. It's like pretty light in this picture, but you can see it a lot better obviously in this shot right here. He comes with like a red Spider Sense effects piece that you can actually clamp like onto his head, and it's like translucent, so it looks really really good. Like even when it's clamped on his head, it doesn't it's not like super obvious that there's like a something like sitting on his head, which is nice because they did it in a pretty nice translucent plastic. And then you get the red. A lot I saw Shartimus Prime reacting to this, and he was saying like, why is the Spider Sense effect red and not yellow? He thought that was kind of weird. I guess that is like a little bit weird, although I feel like I have seen Spider-Man's Spider Sense like red and yellow, so I feel like yellow would definitely be more of like the classic color to use. But Hasbro, I mean, they don't always go with like the most obvious choice or whatever. So but I don't think the red looks bad. I honestly think the red looks pretty cool because it's kind of like, it's a nice like lighter red. I think if they had made it like really dark or like saturated like the red of his costume, then I don't think it would have looked as good. But the fact that it's kind of like in a translucent plastic, and it's like more of like a faded type of red, I think it actually does look pretty good. I think it gives like a nice contrast to the rest of his suit and whatnot, and it doesn't look like it's just like something sticking out like off of his head, you know what I mean? Because if they had done it again like in the same color red as like his costume, I feel like then it would just look like he has like a crown or something like sticking off of his head all weird. But this actually looks like like an effects like an effects piece that isn't like really attached to his head, but is like around his head, which is that's the illusion that they're going for. So I think that looks pretty good. Very excited, man. Let's look at some more shots here. I really like this one. This is like pure McFarlane posing right here. So we got a really dope shot. Looks like they used some of that like fake Halloween webbing that you find at like Halloween stores that people put up on their house. Oops, scoot the camera up a little bit. But yeah, and they got him like posed, and he's basically hitting the same pose that he did in that McFarlane comic that I mentioned earlier, which is like the Torment comic or whatever. But yeah, that's basically like what the cover of that comic looks like. He's kind of like in that crouch pose, and he's got his like fingers almost like that. They have like the web like the web hands on him, because I'm pretty sure on the cover he just kind of like has his hands kind of like relaxed. I don't think he really has it like in a whip necessarily, but that's like the closest you're gonna get to recreating the comic with the hands that are given. But all that to say, yeah, this shot looks absolutely epic, man. I love everything about it. The details, like, it just looks so good, man. And this is like another shot where you can tell that they give him a nice, really deep butterfly joint in there. Like you can see how deep the cut is. So he should be able, if that butterfly joint is effective and actually like utilizes all the space in here, that's a pretty like deep cavity. So he should be able to like swing the shoulder pretty deep forward and back, hopefully. I mean, based on what they've shown in these promo shots, it looks like he can do a whole lot. So I'm really, really excited about that. But yeah, man, this thing looks fantastic. I absolutely cannot wait for this figure. Let's look at some more shots. Here's another one. This one is a little bit blurry, but you get the idea. This is like another shot where he's kind of, I like this because they have one of his hands using like the web shooter hand or whatever, like with the hand exposed. And then you have the Spider Sense, effects piece, on top of his head. And he's got the other hand balled in a fist, and he looks like he's getting ready for action, like maybe just changing into his costume. So that's super dope. Love that shot right there. Let's look at another one. Here is one where he's using the web shield, which I think looks really, really nice. Definitely reminds me, excuse me, of the Marvel versus Capcom game. Take a little drink of water here. All right. Yeah, it looks like he's definitely reminds me of the Marvel vs. Capcom game. I think it looks really freaking good, man. I really like how the web shield came out. I'm in this shot, I'm noticing that it looks almost like a translucent type of plastic, whereas in the box it seemed like it looked more white. So I'm kind of curious to see when we get the actual figure if it's gonna look more translucent like this or more like a opaque, solid white. But we'll see. Either way, I think it's gonna look really, really good. And I like the fact that they gave him a web shield. That is like a very unique accessory. That is dope. Super, super dope. Yeah, man. It even reminds me a little bit of the Spider-Man 2000s PC game that I told you guys I had a while back. Because in that game, he would do this thing. He didn't make a web shield, but he would make like a web dome. Like there was like a move where he would actually like make an entire web dome around himself, like kind of cocoon himself like in this big web dome, and then he would basically just burst out of it, and the web would go like flying or whatever, and basically just knock, the energy would knock all the surrounding enemies back. That was always like a cool move or whatever. But this looks like, the beginnings of him like almost making like that web dome, but obviously it's just a shield. But either way, very, very cool stuff, man. Let's look at another shot. Let's see, we saw that. Oh yeah, this one right here is super nice. Super nice. This reminds me a lot, actually, again, of that Spider-Man 2000s game. It almost reminds me of like the artwork for that game, where Spider-Man is kind of like crawling up the side of the building. This shot reminds me a lot of that, like just the aesthetic of it, and like, the lighting and the musculature and like how he's posed. It really reminds me of like the cover of that game. Very, very like kind of like similar looks. So I like that a lot. I was also a little bit curious as far as like what the back spider logo was gonna look like on this guy, because I know that Todd does draw it a certain way. Even though I wasn't like super familiar with like how he drew it, but I've definitely seen it in artwork before, enough to know that he draws it like in a pretty specific way. And so you can kind of see it peeking a little bit in this shot. You can just see like a little, just like the beginnings of it or whatever, a little peak right there, curving on the musculature. It does look nice though. It looks like they used a good amount of red in the logo so that it doesn't blend into the blue too much. And yeah, overall, I think it looks pretty freaking nice. So I do like that a lot. I'm always curious to see what the back logos look like too, not just the front. So I think that's going to look really good when we get the figure in hand. But yeah, man, we pretty much saw all this already. Here's another cool shot right here where he's like in the sky and he's shooting that like web cocoon blast. Kind of like, again, almost like a Marvel versus Capcom type of web effect that we've got. He's using both hands, flipping hands there and shooting out that big old web. So that's fire. And he's in like a nice, flying crouching pose right there as well. Oh man, I love the shots that they've released for this guy so far. I think they all look pretty freaking amazing. What have we not looked at? Let's see. Any shots we haven't seen of this guy yet? I feel like there was one. Oh yeah, there's one where he's like hanging upside down. Or actually, there's two more shots I want to show real quick. So we'll try this one first. See if I can blow this one up for you guys. Okay, here we go. Boom. So there's another good shot where he's kind of like in a very like McFarlane style pose, almost contortionist. So you can see McFarlane always drew Spider-Man in like these very like contortion like poses that are like, pretty unnatural and like hard for the human body to pull off. But, it's Spider-Man. So, it works. And Todd McFarlane very often drew like Spider-Man's foot like way over here by like the side of his head, and like his leg all like crouched behind him and bent at like weird angles and stuff, but it always looks so fly in comic artwork. So that was like really dope. I love that a lot. Looks like we're getting a pretty kind of like deep toe joint in here too. Like I said, this is like basically all new tooling, so this whole like foot section should be really good. It should give us some pretty good articulation in the toes and whatnot, so he should be able to hit like, again, those deep crouch poses and be able to hold his balance pretty well as well. So I'm very, very excited for that. And again, in this shot, you can kind of see that back spider logo again. looking pretty nice back there. We don't have like a full like, you know, shot of it in any of the ones they released so far, but you know, we'll see that obviously once the figure is in hand and we review it on the channel, of course. So we'll see all of that. But yeah, just very, very excited, man. This looks absolutely fantastic. We got like one of those nice web effects kind of spiraling around him back there. And he's got one of the, you know, the web shooter hands that has like the web effect beginning to come out of the wrist. So that looks pretty cool. And yeah, man. And there's one more shot I wanted to show where he's kind of like hanging upside down on the web. Let's see. Because that was a pretty cool shot. Okay, actually, I take that back. 2 more shots I wanted to show. I forgot how many shots they released of this guy. They actually did release a lot of really good shots. So let's see here. Let's try this one first. So yeah, here is a shot of him using the stand that holds like the web effect. So you can see now he has the giant, you know, web cocoon missile blast, whatever you want to call this thing, little fishtail stream thing. And then he has the one of the web hands that has one of the kind of like funnel web shape web coming out of the wrist, and you can see he's like crouched, basically shooting that. That looks really, really awesome, man. I love that shot. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. And then again, one of our last shots that we're gonna look at is where he's hanging upside down, which would be this one right here. Let me blow that up for y'all. And boom, check that out. Look at that. We got our boy Spidey hanging upside down using one of the web effects. And it seems like the web effects in the box at least were like up and down, like, you know, like straight up and down. Whereas in a lot of these shots, a lot of these, you know, spaghetti web effects looked like they're like curled and kind of, you know, bent. So I'm curious to see if these are going to be like hard plastic pieces and just like straight lines like how they were in the box, or if they actually have like bendy wire or like made out of like a soft plastic that can bend. Very curious to find that out, because if you can bend it and really get him to like, you know, get it to like snake around him, that would look really dope for like, you know, action shots like that where he's swinging, or if you want to have like, you know, the webs going around him, that would be really dope. So yeah, we'll see, but this looks really, really dope right here. It looks like he's, you know, waving to us upside down. And man, shut up. Get that out the way. But yeah, really, really dope figure, man. You know, all in all, I am absolutely super excited and stoked for this figure. There was a bunch of other figures that they announced too, but obviously this was the one that I was most excited about and the one that I had to mention to you guys, because, you know, obviously I want you guys to get your pre-orders in ASAP. You know, as soon as like the pre-orders go up, I want you guys to be ready for this one, because I know he's gonna sell out quick. This is like I said, this will probably go down as like the best Spider-Man Marvel Legends figure probably ever. I just like, I'm picturing the aftermarket prices for this guy, and I know they're gonna be absolutely crazy. Like, they're gonna be trying to sell this guy basically like an import figure. I guarantee it. He's gonna be like well over 100 plus on the aftermarket. So that's why I wanted to make this video, so that you guys can know about him early, get your pre-orders in, because if you wait, it's probably not gonna be looking good for you, man. Not gonna be looking good for your wallet if you you know, end up searching for him on the aftermarket. So I wanted to make sure you guys got this information and you know, are ready to snag this guy as soon as he goes up for pre-order, because I know I'm gonna get mine, man. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna get mine. But yeah, dude, this looks absolutely amazing. What else did I want to say? So yeah, I guess at least according to some of the people that made videos on this already, I guess he's a Amazon and fan channel exclusive. I don't know what the fan channel looks like. You know, I don't really get what they mean by a fan channel exclusive. Like, I don't know if like fan channels are able to actually like sell this guy. I don't know how that works, but for sure he's gonna be like a Amazon, I guess, exclusive. So you'll probably want to go to Amazon. That'll probably be like your best bet to snag this guy. Yeah, I don't know if he really is an exclusive, then I guess, you know, Big Bad Toy Store and like all those other sites won't be carrying him, which is unfortunate, because I would have liked to get him like off of one of those trusted sites like Big Bad Toy Store or Hasbro Pulse or something like that. But you know, at least, yeah, that's what I've heard so far. I mean, I could be wrong, and if so, I'll definitely update the description so you guys, should come back to this video to check out the description just in case I upload any more information that I get about it. But I'll try to keep you guys updated as best as I can. But that being said, as far as I know right now, he is just like an Amazon and fan channel exclusive, whatever that fan channel thing means. But yeah, I guess Amazon would be your best bet as of right now. So yeah, man. What else? Like I said, I think the pre-orders for sure go up sometime in February. I think the official date is going to be February 13th, so like one day before Valentine's Day. So yeah, man, have your monies ready. But yeah, this is gonna be an excellent figure. And like I said, they had some other characters that they announced. I know, let's see, they announced a Daken figure, which I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I've never heard of Daken until like today. I thought, like, when they showed the figure, I honestly thought it was just a Wolverine figure. But I guess in the comics, Wolverine has a son named Daken, which I did not know, like, at all. So yeah, I guess they're making Wolverine's son into a figure now, and it looked pretty good. The sculpt looked really good. The paint looked good. They gave him like an alternate head. So yeah, we have like a Daken figure coming. We have another Miles Morales figure coming. We have a Rom figure. I've never heard of Rom, but I guess he's like some kind of metallic robot or something. I don't know. I guess he's a Marvel character. So we have like a Rom figure. We have a Banshee figure coming. We have a Jean Grey, I think like retro card or something figure. I think she's going to be like a Target exclusive. In either the US or Canada, she's going to be like a Target exclusive. And then yeah, and then what else do we have coming as far as characters? No one else really comes to mind as of right now. I know. So also they did, I guess like Hasbro or somebody from the teams, somebody official put out a statement basically that in addition to this Maximum Spider-Man, the next character I guess that we're going to be getting in the Maximum series is a Maximum Hulk. So I'm excited to see what that one looks like. I'm excited to see whose artwork they based that figure off of. So if it's going to be like a specific artist based figure, kind of like they did with this one. This is like clearly a McFarlane Spider-Man. So I'm curious to see what artist they kind of take inspiration from for that Hulk figure that's going to come out. But yeah, man, I'm just super stoked. So I just wanted to put you guys on game about that. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, look at this. This is the Toy Biz Spider-Man figure, right? And this to me is like the holy grail at this point. Like this, no other comic Spider-Man figures that we have thus far beat this one for me. I mean, you guys know how I feel about it. All the detail, the paint, the passion and love that Toy Biz put into this figure. I mean, amazing, man. Chef's kiss, right? But even so, I feel like this one just might beat it out. I mean, nothing can truly beat this one for me just because there's so many things about the aesthetic. You got the shading, the colors, the sculpt, the wrinkles in the fabric. There's just so many things about this one. This one feels like a true like artist piece, like a true comic book piece come to life. So nothing will ever like truly beat this figure for me, but I feel like this guy is going to be a really good runner-up. Like with the amount of poses that he's going to be able to hit, all the accessories that we've got coming with him, like he comes stocked, man. So like they really took like that whole McFarlane thing to the next level with this one. So that's why I'm so excited for it. And I feel like when this one comes out, this one is going to start to feel more like almost more like a J. Scott Campbell in comparison, just because of like some of the design, not issues, but like differences, I guess, from the McFarlane. Like, again, this logo on this chest, Definitely, I would say closer to like, excuse me, definitely more of like a generic or like maybe later J. Scott Campbell type logo compared to the one that we're getting on this new one. This one is like without a doubt a McFarlane logo that we're getting on this new one. Whereas this one is more kind of like almost like Bagley. I feel like if anything, it's like closer to like Bagley style, if anything. Like the way the legs are shaped and the body of the spider. I feel like it's almost like a Bagley logo, if anything. Almost like an Ultimate Spider-Man, or like leaning towards that way. So yeah, and even like the spider symbol in the back. And even the lenses on this one, I feel like you could honestly make the argument that the lenses on this Toy Biz one are J. Scott Campbell or McFarlane. It kind of goes both ways, but the ones on this new one, without a doubt, for sure, McFarlane. Like very angular. You got the bold, the very bold black at the top of the lenses, like the angular shape and everything. Yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy. So just imagine that. Like obviously we're gonna do a comparison when I get this guy in hand and we do the review. I'm gonna compare him with this guy for sure, but just to give you a sense of like what they're gonna look like together, man. And then this guy right here, I feel like to this day, this is like one of the best, Spider-Man figures that Hasbro has ever released. This is the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, and which, obviously I have a review of on the channel. But yeah, this guy is able to hit like some really, really nice, spider-like poses. So to this day, I still feel like this is one of the best Spider-Man figures that Hasbro has ever designed. So still a very, very solid, contender to have in the collection. And obviously has the Steve Ditko style, the very classic, Amazing Fantasy style to him. Very, very nicely done. So it's about time we got another figure of this, caliber coming out. And then just imagine, as far as like villains go, imagine pairing this new one, right, with like, say, like a Toy Biz Green Goblin, like this one from the box set, the Sinister Six box set. Imagine how these two would look like posed up fighting each other. That is crazy. I mean, obviously Green Goblin's like in a different style, but I think they would still work like really, really well. Obviously, this is like an Alex Ross style design. This is McFarlane, but I feel like you could, clash them, have them like fighting or something in your display, and it would look really epic. So, boom, just imagine that, right? And if you want like another villain, imagine this new figure, this new Spider-Man fighting Carnage, right? The Carnage from the Venom movie wave. Like, come on, man! Like, look at that. A very kind of like Bagley style Carnage versus this McFarlane style Spider-Man. Like, bro, we are cooking, bro. We cooking. But yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say. Just wanted to get that out there to you guys. If you made it this far in the video, man, I appreciate you. Long video, but you guys know I had to rant and ramble about this. Not really rant. I'm really just giving my excitement. This wasn't like a negative, cynical thing that I'm talking about. This is really just me venting my excitement for this figure and all the potential great things to come from Hasbro this year, in the near, or at least in the near future. So very, very excited. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this was informative. Again, be sure to get your pre-orders up as soon as they open, man. Just be looking out, like check back, check Amazon, check Hasbro Pulse for any updates. Yeah, I think, like I said, Just Jay Hernandez on Instagram and Tasm Collector, I know they posted about it, so I'll have the links, or at least like their names in the description, so you guys can check them out if you have an Instagram and you want to follow them. I'm sure they're going to be posting more updates about it. But yeah, man, I'll try to do my best to keep you guys updated with it as well. Come back to this video and check the description when you get a chance. But yeah, super, super stoked for this, man. This is some dope news. Super excited, and I hope you guys are able to get one as soon as possible. Hopefully you get a pre-order in and don't have to wait for the aftermarket, because I'm telling you right now, those prices are going to be nasty, man. They're definitely, without a doubt, going to be charging import prices for this guy, so hopefully you don't have to deal with any of that. But that does it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you're new, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe the video. It would mean a lot to me. And hopefully we can get this video, this information out there to more people like yourself who are looking for this kind of thing. And to all my collectors alike, much peace and love, blessings to you all. Everybody, even if you're not a collector and you just wanted to watch the video, appreciate you, stay safe. All my people, love y'all, man. It's your boy BioSparta 3.0 signing out, and I will see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching.